Mic check, mic check. It's working.
Yes, I am.
So speaking to your mic.
Hello, hello, hello. Up, please. Hello. Oh,
Oh, hello, Fred.
yes.
Are you loud enough?
Well, comments have been that people can't hear me. And I'm thinking, I was this far from the.
I saw you went like this on the last And people turn it up and it's,
That's it. Oh, this is much better. Thank you.
Does anybody else want to do a test?
Hello.
I didn't hear you here.
No, I agree.
Mine must have to go up a little bit then. Hello, hello. Testing, testing.
Is your little green light on?
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's why nobody pays attention to me all these months that.
The thing is, we hear you, Gary.
Hello, hello, testing.
Take the other one.
Take the other one.
What's the number on the other one?
That's number 7.
And then when you get to 7.
Hello, hello.
Okay, now Gary, try it.
Testing. Oh, that's good. Yep.
There you are.
Something might, this doesn't have this little fuzzy thing on the end. Carl's got it.
From numerous times. He keeps putting it on his nose.
This is missing.
Does he spray it red?
Sorry, it's been a long night.
Yeah.
And day. No.
Yes, we are. We have 2 minutes, sir.
I was told the same thing. This morning, actually.
Yes, Jared, did you say yes, honey?
Yeah.
Yes, sweetheart.
Should we start getting ready? That's what I was saying. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. It takes us a while. That's fine. I like it when you guys start standing up. It's like, well. I'm just checking all the emails, but I think we're caught up. You go out fishing? Yeah. Where? Oh, you did pretty good. What? Prop. Good size ones?
Biggest ones I ever caught. I think it's just like one right after another. We started out at noon out in front of the lake.
What is?
Yeah.
7 o'clock, ready to roll?
Couldn't get
Ready? Ready?
out.
Good evening. Today is Thursday, April 15th, 2021. I would like to call the Village of Vernon Board meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance and standing moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Roll call on open meeting law compliance check.
President Carol Fortner.
Present.
Trustee Jim Slaney. Trustee Gary Wildy.
Present.
Trustee Fred Mahalik.
Present.
Trustee Lorene Dashick.
Present.
Mr. President, note for the record, you do have a quorum of your village board. Also note for the record that the agenda was posted inside and outside the Vernon Town Hall on Town of Vernon's website, Village of Vernon's website, to other businesses which, within the Village of Vernon, and as our courtesy places, they've also been placed. You are in full compliance with the open meetings law for the Village of Vernon.
Thank you. I now need to read the following notice. Consideration and possible action on a motion to convene into, oops, we missed public comments. Sorry about that. We'll go, I inadvertently skipped public comments. Are there any public comments? Okay, no public comments. Now I'll read the notice. Consideration and possible action on a motion to convene into executive session under Wisconsin Statutes 19.851G, conferring with legal counsel for the governmental body who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation in which it is or is likely to become involved. More specifically, the Krieger appeal. Included in closed session will be the Vernon Village Board and the Vernon Village Clerk Administrator and the Village Attorney by telephone. Motion will require a roll call vote. Number 6, miscellaneous matters. First item up, letters A, B, C, D, E, and F all relate to our general obligation promissory notes and street improvement bonds. Mr. Justin Fisher is here from Robert W. Baird to walk us through the documentations and give us the results of the auction this morning.
No, glad to be back here with some really good news to share tonight. So today we went out for the public bond sales for the 2 bond issues that we've been discussing over the last month plus. And Karen, did you by any chance have the opportunity to send the board members that presentation?
They have everything.
They have everything. Okay. So there should be a Baird presentation. I'll just walk through that. Yep, looks like that. So if you go to page 2, that is, yep. So go on to page 2. Before I get into this, over the last month, I know there was some concern and what if rates go up, what if rates drop, and so forth. Fortunately, we had a little bit of stability over the last month with interest rates. We saw them kind of going up, then they took a little bit of a drop because ultimately you saw COVID cases starting to go up nationally. With spring breakers and certain states and so forth, there was just we're in that pocket where there's some uncertainty again. And with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine and what's going on with that, we've seen all of a sudden rates kind of drop a little bit in the last several days. So it was kind of perfect timing to be going into the bond markets with these sales. So looking at page 2, the first one is the general obligation promissory notes. The final borrowing amount is $1,765,000. The resolution is for $1,775,000. That's what was approved originally. So the size actually went down $10,000 because the additional savings, the lower interest cost, and some additional savings tied to the cost of issuance. So between those two is what led to the lower actual borrowing amount. So that's good news. It's going to close May 3rd of 2021 and have maturities again March 1, 2022 to 2029. First interest March 1 of 2022 and a call date of March 1 of 2028 or any date thereafter. We did not go for a bond credit rating. We essentially answered questions from potential purchasers of the bonds on the village's financials and so forth. Had those discussions and ultimately received a 0.9274% for an interest rate. So under a 1% for the financing, I'm in the market nonstop with my clients and so forth. And we're, it's almost repetitive at this point that I'm telling them, I've been doing this 13 years. Every one of my clients is hitting kind of the lowest interest rates they've ever had, and most of them go out every year for bond issues and so forth. So for you to kind of this being your first bonding process to receive these historically low interest rates, kudos to you for taking advantage of the situation that we're in, as far as interest rates go. So, congratulations. So the winning purchaser is actually Bankers Bank. They're out of Madison. They're the ones that purchased the bonds. They're the underwriter for the financing. So as far as the refinancing of the outstanding debt, again, this refinanced a number of issues that we'll talk about on the next page, but it refunded maturities from 2021 to 2027. The final savings after cost of issuance is $46,200. So that's taxpayer savings that you're gonna get. On a present value basis, $39,901, and on a percentage basis, 5.82%. Typically, you move forward with a refinancing if you can achieve at least 2% savings. So you're more than double that, almost triple the threshold for moving forward with the refinancing. Our projection for this was to, when I came here and presented, was $30,000 for the present value savings, an additional $10,000 almost in savings because of the lower interest rates. So all good news there on the general obligation promissory notes. On the general obligation street improvement bonds, the final amount is $1,270,000, which is the same as the resolution. Closing again May 3rd of 2021 with maturities March 1, 2030 to 2036. First interest, March 1 of 2022, and callable March 1 of 2028 or any date thereafter. Again, non-rated. And the final interest rate received, 1.70%. So we projected a 1.88% when I came here and presented. So, 18 basis points or 0.18% better than what I told you. That ultimately leads to savings to your taxpayers, and I'll quantify that in a little bit here. And again, the underwriter for that one as well is Bankers Bank out of Madison. So going to page 3 of this should look very similar to what you've seen in the past. These are the outstanding loans for the Village of Vernon. Again, you were paying 3.50%, and ultimately, when you go to page 4 of this, it's going to be replaced with one issue of $625,000, refinancing all that outstanding loans. And on the far right side of the page, you can see what the annual savings to the taxpayers is going to be by going into the lower interest rate debt. And that's what, I said on the prior page, $46,200 in taxpayer savings in total. So great news. Anytime you can save money for your taxpayers, that's a great thing. Going to page 5, this is kind of the where we did the structuring this morning to make sure that we could hit certain targets that we told you that was approved and so forth at the prior meetings, with the goal of basically hitting a max impact to the mill rate of 10 cents. That was the whole goal, and as you can see on this page, that's what was achieved. We were able to take the debt and structure it and so forth to ultimately, on the right side of the page, you can see that it's at 16 cents in 2021, and then in 2022 it goes to 26 cents, and it stays there through 2027, and then you have a very nice drop in 2028 for future capital investments and so forth to improve your community if you need to. But it leaves a nice drop, so when you do take on potentially new debt, there won't be a major tax increase for those projects. So because of the lower interest rates than what I told you about a month ago, that leads to about $60,000 in savings with the lower interest rates. So very good news for you and your constituents. Yes.
Questions so far? Okay, are we ready to walk through the resolutions, or do you want to go through the bond pricing or anything like that as people, Justin's here.
A lot of legal documents.
Yeah.
But this is ultimately the main thing
Right.
You know, the resolutions just reflect what this is.
Right. And the main things are another 10,000, we borrowed 10,000 less, we got 60,000 in savings, that's 70 from what we would projected and approved, so it's a significant number. Yes,
Thank
very, very nice,
My pleasure.
nice job.
Thank you for your trust in me. I know this was your first time going through this, so there's a lot of questions and, you know, what ifs, but I
And I-
appreciate your trust.
And I know we have two board members who wanted to retire before this meeting, but as you've heard, we had to take advantage of the interest rates. So we pushed ahead. And it was a good thing we did, as it turns out.
What's the savings that we have to be concerned about? You know, we would have had to borrow money anyway in the next few years. And who's to say what the interest rate's gonna be then, you know, so now we're seeing significant savings on money that we would have ended up having to borrow to begin with. So I think it's the right thing to do.
Right, and we're not even quantifying the savings from a 1% or a 2% rate to what it could have been had we borrowed straight money from the bank or money next year even. To the extent there's a spread there, and there certainly would be, the savings are even more. But yes, you're right, trustee Wildy, we're not borrowing money just to be borrowing money. We have specific needs, and we'll spend it wisely and get competitive bids, and just because we have an attractive interest rate doesn't mean we're gonna waste the money or spend it frivolously, so. Okay, should we go to the resolutions? There's no further questions on how we ended up on the pricing. Okay, on the resolutions, I think they've been updated
Yes.
for the new numbers, and I think they are self-contained. Everything we need is contained inside the resolution. The numbers have been updated, including the $1,775,000 is now $1,765,000 on resolution 2021-10. I read through them. I don't have any questions. We've set up another, the change that we made the other week was to set up the project construction fund as required, so that's in the documents now, so we'll have a fund to have, do the accounting to set up a project construction fund to keep it segregated on our books. Yes, trustee Mahalik.
This first one, 2021-10, that's for equipment, correct?
That is for refinancing of existing debt plus capital equipment.
Okay, and the plus capital equipment portion is money that would be coming up in the next budget cycle?
It's coming up this year and next year.
Right,
Right.
okay. And so that has to go through the budgetary process first. And if it doesn't make it, then what happens to those funds that are in this bond?
Well, they sit in the capital project improvement fund until they're used, but we may have to, under the rules of the tax exempt market, we do have to spend the money for qualifying purchases, and if we don't, then I think we could use it to pay back the debt, and ultimately, and there is call provisions, but that's further out the
Yeah.
road.
It would have to be used for future debt service payments.
Right.
But if we don't, again, we're going through the budget process. We're talking about equipment. It's not the first portion of what he said, it's the second portion. That equipment has yet to be talked about in the budget process.
Well, some of it has. This year's equipment.
This year is,
Next year's equipment has not. We have a
right,
period
that's
of
what I'm
time
talking about.
under the arbitrage rules to spend it. That's 2022 and a little bit of time in 2023 if needed.
Right, and that's
But
what I'm
it does
referring
have to be
to.
budgeted and it has to be,
Right.
right, absolutely.
So if that money, just as an example, is not approved in that budget process, the funds that are a part of this, can they be, what happens to them? Do we have, can we return them to reduce? No, we're stuck. Or I don't want to use stuck. I withdraw that, okay? But that is, these are funds that are kept in perpetuity until the what should I call it? The sunset provision comes in.
The call feature.
Call
Yep,
feature,
yep,
thank you, okay.
yep, exactly.
All right, so we would hold on to these funds.
You,
And pay
you
the
would
interest.
hold on to it, but you would want to use it within the arbitrage time frame, or start using it towards the future debt service payments related to that issuance,
Mhm.
which would be the principal and interest. and stuff.
Right.
Which starts next year,
Yes.
which starts in 2022
Mhm.
and 23. So we could use the money instead of buying capital equipment to pay back the bonds as they come due,
Mhm.
or the notes, I guess, in this case.
Thank you.
Okay, other questions? Otherwise, I'll start making motions to get these things adopted. So I will make a motion to approve Resolution 2021-10, resolution awarding the sale of 1,765,000 general obligation promissory notes. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion, further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next resolution is regarding the general obligation street improvement bonds. So I will make a motion to approve Resolution 2021-11, resolution awarding the sale of 1,270,000 general obligation street improvement bonds. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Discussion? Trustee Mahalik.
This one is the one that's difficult for me. I can understand what's going on with the equipment portion. But with street improvement bonds, again, this is 15 years. We're looking at paying this off during that period. One question is a sidebar. Can this be paid off earlier, or does it have to stay on the schedule?
It has to stay on the schedule.
That's fine.
Until, well, I mean, stay on the schedule until the call date, and then you can start paying it off faster. if you-
Okay, thank you. But to me, and I'm coming from a little bit of different background maybe, but everything that I've always done, okay, in life has been something where you pay as you go. Now, because the situation developed with the roads, and it's something that has been put forward to this board, I don't believe that we should be spending this money, okay, for road improvements, because we're going down the road 15 years, right? And these funds are for 21-2, if I'm correct. And I'm looking at what's going to happen in 22-3, 20, and each succeeding year down the road, there are going to be road improvement requirements. And when I look at spending all this money, basically, and I don't want to throw stones at anybody, but in a better way of saying it, a polite way of saying it, is that this money should have been covered by prior actions in budget development. And seeing it the way I see it here, I totally object to it. And that, to me, road improvements, bonds, if we built a brand new road from square one, you bring in the bulldozers, you put down the limestone and go on that way, I can understand that. This, in maintaining an existing road that should have been budgeted before, and now trying to make up for past oversights, or I don't want to say oversights either, because I don't want to throw sand at anybody. But when that should have been handled in a earlier manner, I find it abhorrent to me, because that's not my way of doing business. In my business life, when I was employed, I didn't do it that way. In our home, I didn't do it that way. And when I was the chair here, we didn't do it that way. Okay, it was pay as you go. And I look at what we're doing here as being something that is not prudent and in the best interest of the town of Vernon. And that's all I have to say.
You've made that point before, I'll acknowledge that you have.
The reason I brought it up again, okay, this is now the time that we're voting on it, and you're correct. I did make this point before, but I thought it needed to be said again.
Yeah, that's fine. Any discussion, further discussion?
We voted on this in the past. So I don't have any more to say about it. I think we should call the question.
Okay, any further discussion? Otherwise, we'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-1. Trustee Mahalik. Right. Next up on the agenda, the Quarrels and Brady engagement letter. Here, it's for their legal work, and I will make the motion to approve and authorize the village president to execute the Quarrels and Brady scope of engagement letter agreement. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. There were some documentation and so on that we have to complete. The resolutions might cover it, but I had it as a separate agenda item regarding some bond questionnaires and other documents that we've been filling out, so that's why that's on the agenda. I think our clerk administrator sends every document to the board, how it's being filled out. And so I just want to make sure that we're covering our bases here. So I will make a motion to authorize the village president and the village clerk administrator to complete, sign, and submit the bond questionnaires and other necessary documents in connection with the offering and sale of the $1,765,000 general obligation promissory notes and the sale of $1,270,000 general obligation street improvement bonds. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is the official statement, and I did talk to Justin about this. No action is required on this. It was really part of the resolution as far as I can tell. But I wanted to put this on the agenda just to ensure that everyone had an opportunity to review it, can ask questions about it, and if there are anything that you think is incorrect, to let us know. And it's the official statement that was given out to our respective bond and note bidders. The clerk administrator worked on that extensively. And I've read through it. We worked on it last week on Friday, all afternoon. So I could not see anything that needed to be fixed. There's a few things that we suggested and they were fixed, so.
Yes.
Yes.
They were very thorough.
Oh, yes.
So I guess I was happy with it at the end, so. If there are any other, it is a good, it's a nice document. It tells all about the finances of the Village of Vernon. If you ever need a reference document, that's it.
And Mr. President, we are going to put that on the website also, just because it is a great piece of information for the public.
Right.
Good idea.
Okay. Any questions, corrections, changes, comments? Okay, so we will go to something that's been on our agenda for a while, and we did have some earlier direction and regarding these policies, and we just never brought it back, but now's the time to bring it back. So the direction on these policies was to send them out to our auditor, finance committee. I think Baird took a look at them, had suggestions, we made the suggestions, incorporated the suggestions in the document, so I think it's ready to be adopted, these policies. So I will make a motion to approve Resolution 2021-05, a resolution to rescind the Town of Vernon investment policy and adopt an amended investment policy, debt management policy, and general fund balance policy. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Discussion. You've all seen these documents before and all the suggestions and so on. Hearing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Justin. We really appreciate it. Nice job. All right. Thank you again. Weed Commissioner. Back to our mundane lives. I said back to our mundane business of, mundane
agenda.
business of the village of Vernon, right? Yes, it is. And we have, under our ordinance, May 15th, but I think tonight, what we really need to do is settle on some type of job description. I think there has been some interest in people asking. And one person knows all about the job and what it entails, so. Jim, you, I think, had some new information, although I think it was kind of already,
In your job description.
yeah, in the job description already, so. Well, certainly, the statute and our ordinance would be helpful attachments to the job description, so they know what they're getting into. I have no problem with including those as part of the job description or as an attachment to the job description. Yeah, whole packet, yeah. Right, the whole packet, right. Sounds good. So we need a motion to approve the weed commissioner job description package as presented. I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
No. Pardon? Timing. Mostly timing. I didn't have any issue with it.
Yeah, I did check with you about that. We decided to proceed right to the board level at this point. So we have a motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Advertising signs for the Vernon Village Hall Park baseball fencing. We've got the signs that are, or banners, I guess they are, that are proposed to be hung.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'm sorry that we're on the agenda, but with the sheriff department here, is it appropriate to hear anything he's got to say and then excuse him?
So you can go back to right. take
Go
it.
back to doing what you got to do?
I'm just here to see if there's anything on the agenda as far as the contract.
Okay,
Well,
there
certainly we can deviate for anything that,
Thank you.
department needs to report. Do we have anything, do we have questions we can,
Has the squad car come in yet?
it's made?
As far as I know, there is no squad car yet.
Okay.
I'm sorry, the administrative offices did call, and because of COVID and all the delays in the car industry, they're hoping for May.
May?
Yes, yep. They called with their apology, but there's nothing, they're
Yeah.
trying their hardest, and they
It's a
asked if,
backup on everything.
Right.
they did ask if they wanted us, the sheriff's department, to purchase a decal, and I I said to him, as long as you're here doing your job, we know who you are. and who you are.
Right.
Well, I don't have anything for you guys, so
Okay.
if that was all you guys for me,
One quick question, do you know how many citations were written this month?
I would have to look and see what the stats are prior.
I'd like to be getting that number on a monthly basis. I don't know, you know,
And I'll contact Corey, the lieutenant that came in. I'll contact him tomorrow, Jim.
okay. I don't know what time of the month, you know,
Right,
first and.
right.
That's gonna be pertinent when we go to municipal court.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I thought that we had agreed that that would occur back,
But I don't know, as Jim said, I don't know what the timing is from, so I'll find that out.
Okay.
When they release them. I'm sure it's after the month has concluded, but.
whatever the appropriate.
I can pass that information along to my lieutenant as well. He was gonna try to be down here when he got tied up with
Okay.
Sounds good. Stay safe.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you for your timing.
Thank you for that reminder, trustee Mahalik. I kind of,
Yeah, just,
looked through that, unfortunately. Okay, so here's the advertising signs, and this is coming from our Park and Rec Director, Mike Salaki. And Fox River Bandits, there's 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 signs, 9 banners. They're hung in the baseball field right down there.
John, the DPW director, hangs them. And this is above and beyond their rental of our facilities.
mhm.
They rent our facilities. The Fox River Bandit rent our baseball diamonds, and then they put these banners up also to help fund their baseball team, and then they cut Vernon in on the proceeds also. And they're very good about getting their certificate of insurance, everything. Very good organization.
And we do have an agreement with them.
Yes, we
and-
do.
And they are I think they are a 501c3 or some kind of youth league,
Right.
tax exempt type of organization. I'm not sure exactly what they are.
But all signs have to require village board approval.
In that line of conversation, is there anything with these, did you say 501c3? Do we pay them for this advertising? Do the vendors, these sign people pay us?
No, the vendors pay Fox River Bandits, and then the Fox River Bandits show what their proceeds are, and then are cut. And as they stated, they showed the 302.
Okay. I guess where I'm coming from, and I recognize a lot of these as reputable firms, and I'm not disparaging anybody that I don't recognize, but is there any concerns about liability on these signs?
No, we
That
ran.
there's something,
When we started this 4 years ago, the insurance company was involved in it also, and the attorney.
okay,
And this was all, reviewed by the attorney, our insurance company.
are these the same?
No, they change. I mean,
Okay.
you have some that return, but
Okay,
it's typically the kids and the kids' grandma and grandpas and people that sponsor the kids. Great organization for the kids too.
okay. Well, I have no problem with sponsorship. It's I'm not impugning anybody here. I'm asking a legal liability question, okay?
Right. And insurance, yep,
And yeah,
all checked.
would come
In
that
fact,
way
they not only do the certificate insurance, they also double indemnify the village,
to the,
to the village of Vernon.
okay. Oh, that's better yet. Thank you.
And the board needs to approve them, because they are hanging on our fences. And, I think is the final check to make sure there's nothing inappropriate, or an inappropriate sponsor, might say, for youth sports or a public building. So I'm looking for a motion to, approve the banners, as presented by the Fox River Bandits.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
And further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, committee commission appointments. I passed around my little cheat sheet. I did go through the ordinances, some of these, so I was very careful. Some of the appointments need to be made by the village president, subject to board confirmation or approval. Others can come from any member of the board. So I tried to lay them out as if I was making the motion so that I could stay on the script. So Fire Commission needs to come from the president. Tom Tomasack has been on the Fire Commission. He's indicated that he's up for another 5-year term. So I will appoint Tom Tomasack to the Fire Commission for a 5-year term ending April 30, 2026. And I ask for a motion to approve the appointment of Tom Tomasack to the Fire Commission for a 5-year term ended April 30,
Move to
2026.
approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
This still leaves an opening on
Yep.
the commission yet, right?
Right, there's one opening on the commission. We are speaking with at least one person right now. And we hope that she makes a decision soon, and we can get her, if she doesn't work out, an alternate on the May meeting for appointment. So, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. You'll notify Mr. Tomasack. Okay, the next three are for Plan Commission. On here again, we will have two openings. Two openings that we'll need to fill, and hopefully, but in addition to these. So it's a 5-member Plan Commission. We'll have 2 openings to fill, and we'll have a couple weeks here in April too. We are talking to at least one other person for that. Yes. Yeah, we should. Although hopefully they didn't watch the meeting last night about the 2 dogs, which was
Well,
an unusual meeting.
I very much. But I think,
Let's not go through that.
no, I'm not going there. But I'm saying that if anybody is interested in getting involved in the community, the Planning Commission is a perfect place to get started.
Right. And I won't speak for you, Trustee Mahalik, but I assume that if you know them, you'll talk to them about
Yes.
Plan Commission.
Mhm.
Okay, so with that in mind, I will appoint Dan Noeck to the Plan Commission for a 2-year term ending April 30, 2023. I'll ask for a motion to confirm the appointment of Dan Noeck to the Plan Commission for a 2-year term ending April 30, 2023.
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Just a slight, it's a confirmation, not approval, but friendly amendment, that'd be okay with you.
Friendly amendment.
These crazy ordinances that somebody drafted a long time ago. Some of them say approve, some of them say confirm. Do you make that friendly amendment, friendly second? Okay. I appointed, the motion was to confirm the appointment. Yes. Any discussion? Dan's been on the Plan Commission. I think he does a wonderful job.
Yeah, blue chip.
So, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next one up is Mr. Jim Slaney.
Who? Yeah. Did anybody do a background check? Okay.
So I appoint Jim Slaney to the Plan Commission for a 1-year term ending April 30, 2022. The 1-year term will correspond to his 1-year term as trustee. And so that's the difference. We typically, board members get put on, to correlate with their elected term. So I will ask for a motion to confirm the appointment of Jim Slaney to the Plan Commission for a 1-year term ended April 30, 2022.
So moved.
Is there a second? Okay, any discussion?
Nope.
Hurry to a vote. All in favor?
Aye. Did you say hurry to a vote? Yes.
Okay, last one up. And I did talk to Attorney Macy about whether I need to appoint myself, and actually I do. So I will appoint myself, Carl Fortner, to the Plan Commission for a 2-year term ending April 30, 2023. So I'll ask for a motion to confirm my appointment, or the appointment of Carl Fortner to the Plan Commission for a 2-year term ending April 30, 2023. Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
Darn it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next one up, this is for the Board of Appeals. Ted Seatham has been on the Board of Appeals. I thought he did a nice job on our appeals this last term. He's a retired attorney. I think he lives over in Hunter's Run area. Yep. So I will make a motion to appoint Ted Seatham to the Board of Appeals for a 2-year term ending April 30, 2023. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are going to need some Board of Appeals people too. At least one, possibly two, and get an alternate. So we've got Plan Commission, Board of Appeals, 2 each probably, and Fire Commissioner coming up in May. And the last one is our Finance Committee. Myself, Tom Tomasack, and Karen Shua have been on the Finance Committee. So I will make a motion to appoint Carl Fortner, Tom Tomasack, and Karen Shue to the Finance Committee, each for a 2-year term ending April 30, 2023. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion. And there's 2 more, under ordinance, we can have up to 5. So there's 2 more positions. I just wanted to make sure we had a quorum in there for now. So there's two more positions that we could fill.
Yeah, I think there should be more people, and the clerk is actually providing a lot of that information. You should have more people on that committee.
Right, we got 2 people. If we can fill that, if we have more, we can always expand the committee. We need to get 2, at least 2, to fill it. And I would agree, I would like to see 2 people join that committee. And we are talking to some people. So there's your advertisement for the Finance Committee. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The Gaffney tax payments, this was on an earlier agenda, remember, and additional information, Trustee Jasek asked to put it on the agenda, so we will, I know you had a little report once before, and we have information in our packet. So. Right. Where is that stuff? I got it here.
Are they they're divorced or something? Is that why?
It's an uncle and a cousin.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Right, Mr. Randy, check was for 1990 was put on, or submitted to the village, was credited to the wrong account. It produced a refund to Mrs. Sabrina, and that check was turned back in, and we voided it. So the town now, village, has the money. It's past the tax settlement date, as I understand it.
Yep.
And so then it is supposed to go to the county, and we did pay it to the county last APs.
Yes, you did a
Yeah.
manual check for it.
Right, last APs.
Yep.
I had looked for some more information on that, and I sent Karen an email asking for that. I wanted to see how it was applied to the Sabrina account and created the refund. That paperwork from the Banyan is not in here.
But you asked at 1:15 today.
Yes, so
I mean, I don't know how,
we can adjourn this to the next, I make a motion to adjourn this item to the
table it.
next board meeting.
To table it?
Table it.
Okay. I'll second it. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. It's tabled. Correspondence, announcements, and report. We will start with Trustee Salani.
Just want to thank everybody for voting, you know, not just for myself, but for our whole board. That I don't have anything else.
Trustee Wildy.
Yeah, I've got some things to say, naturally. First of all, I want to express my deepest sympathy to the Craig family who lost their grandfather, Bill Craig, who served diligently on this board for some years. He was a respected member of the community, a businessman. He will be missed. He left behind a large family, and it was a shock to hear that this happened. And just express my deepest sympathy to the family. Also, since this is my last board meeting, I have a couple of things I would like to say. After so many years of serving the residents of the town of Vernon, I sat down. I was going to write a long list of things and I said, that's stupid. You know, I don't want to tie everybody up with all of that. You know, there's the people that are out there that know that I appreciated the fact that I had a chance to work and serve with him all the way from the fire department, the DPW, to the office staff, to even the members of this board. And even though we disagreed on a lot of different things, I still respected the opinion of everybody that I've served with. And some of the two greatest achievements that I've been on this board is that we got out of county zoning. And then we also, thanks to our president, we got the village status. I kind of feel a little bad that, you know, Mr. Macy didn't really tell us about this, or we probably would have tackled this issue a long time ago, but we, on the board, we didn't know about this issue. And thanks to Carl's diligence and going through this, we were able to succeed and perform our obligations to get out as a town and become a village. So for that, I thank you, Carl. And let's see, that's pretty close to the end. I have two people that I really wanted to thank. One of them is Karen, who got me involved in politics almost 30 years ago. Maybe I should, according to my wife, maybe I should throw rocks at her.
You really mean thank?
But she's been a good friend, and I appreciate all the help and everything that I've gotten from her over the years. And the other one is my wife, who put up with you know, when I wasn't home, the phone calls saying, where is he? And then she'd have to explain, you know, or take down notes and everything and try to appease people. But other than that, there's so many people I could thank that at this time, you know, it would take quite a bit of time in order to go through all the, they know who they are. And I appreciate, like I said before, I appreciate all their help and support that I've gotten over the years. That's about it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Trustee Mahalik.
Yes, this is my third time leaving the board, and I'd like to say that it was a very interesting experience, particularly with us becoming a village. There was nothing more frustrating for me but to watch all of the various annexations occur, and that we had nothing, couldn't do nothing to stop it. And getting out of county zoning, getting out from under county zoning was one of the big efforts that I had initiated some years back, and glad to see that it finally materialized. The village, I hope they truly understand what the incorporation to a village, from a town to a village means. And in the years to come, if they don't understand, they will see it in action. And insofar as the board, the employees of the town of Vernon, I'm truly appreciative for the support and cooperation I got. And I'm just so pleased to say that I can say that they're former colleagues of mine. And I really mean that. Thank you.
Trustee Dashik?
Well, I would like to thank Gary and Fred for their years of service serving the Vernon residents. Fred stepped up at a very important time to help us incorporate into the village of Vernon. I have one other thing I'd like to mention is last night I was interested in the Plan Commission meeting. And I don't know how to fix this problem, but it was somewhat frustrating with the mics and the people speaking at this mic, the residents. So you're listening, I had the speaker next to my ear for some, and all of a sudden it was blasted when a different person spoke, and I thought, oh my goodness. I don't know how to fix it though, you know.
Can I add just a little bit prior to the meeting? We went over each one of these mics, and the volumes were adjusted. And so I'd be curious if you hear from any of your other constituents what they felt like this meeting went.
Tonight's meeting.
Tonight's meeting. Okay, so I'm hopefully that oh, here I am. I was talking to you, and I doubt they heard me. But that adjustment, I could tell in this room, made quite a difference.
Right.
So
And I can see what I'm doing wrong right now. Looking
right
away,
there, you got look away.
I'm not in the mic.
You're right.
And this is happening over and over again, and it's just, you're in, you're out, you're in, you're out.
Could you hear the people that were speaking?
No.
Yeah, and it's really difficult to read, because first of all, they're nervous when they're up here,
Right.
and then to keep saying, could you speak into the mic, could you speak?
Right. Or they'll say something from their
Yeah.
chair,
Which is
because
worse.
now they're in a conversation with the room, and, you know, they've already introduced themselves. And I'm guilty too, back and forth and turning, and
Yeah,
It's
it's
really-
definitely a problem, and when you're
you put
home
the,
watching this, it is just so frustrating that you get up and walk away, I think.
right, and if you make the mics more sensitive, so when I turn over here or something, you're gonna hear papers rustling, playing with your pen, whatever. It's
Just
I don't know
an
how-
observation I wanted to
Other than
state.
getting clip-ons maybe on your,
Those didn't
Sure.
work either. We had
No, we tried those. Yeah.
those, okay, scratch it.
Good idea, but
Okay,
We have to write little notes for us, don't turn your head.
speak into the mic, stay 6 inches away,
and turn it off when you're done.
right? And remember to turn it on. Anything else?
No,
President's report, thank you for voting and supporting the entire board. It's for me, it's been an honor and pleasure to serve the last 2 years, and I'm looking forward for the next 2 years. And I do extend my condolences out to Bill Craig and his extended family. You know, as a public servant, it was a shock to everyone, and not. I don't think our fire department responded, but as I understand it, it was way too late. So again, my condolences.
may I clarify that they were way too late, not because of their arrival, but because of what already
Oh no, they
previous.
got there right away.
That's my point.
Yeah, right.
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 Bill wanted to beat him to heaven.
Yeah. No, my point was that we were, neither of the support services were late.
Right.
Right. And then normally, we do have an annual meeting. Others have talked about incorporating as a village. One of the things we lose as a town is our annual meeting. And of course, last year we lost ours because of COVID. And normally, at that annual meeting, we thank the outgoing board members. So I will do that. Thank you, Fred Mahalik. Thank you, Gary Wildy. Yeah, and Gary, I think you said it well. We don't always agree, but as long as we're civil about it and can move forward afterwards, we look out for the best interests of the residents of the village of Vernon. And we do have some certificates, plaques, actually.
Oh, wow.
It's in the budget.
Did it come out of the bond issue?
The one you voted against.
Yeah.
The one I voted against.
Yeah, we're gonna cut yours in half.
I just get a,
You only approve one of them.
I get a paper clip.
Right. These are certificates of appreciation.
Please use your microphone.
These are certificates of appreciation from the Village of Vernon Board of Trustees. Gary Wildy, in recognition of your distinguished service and dedication to both the town and the Village of Vernon as Town Supervisor and Village Trustee Number 2, as well as an appreciation for your many years of service and volunteerism. You can tell I didn't write that word.
Yes.
As Public Health and Safety Committee Chairman, Vernon Adopt a Road Program Chairman, Public Works Committee Member, Plan Commission Member, Shared Services Committee Member, various ad hoc committee members, Election Inspector, Christmas and Vernon Santa Claus, Park and Rec Baseball and Softball Volunteer, former volunteer firefighter, and Captain of Big Bend Vernon Fire Department. Presented with best wishes in your future endeavors.
Thanks, Carl. Thank you, appreciate it.
Mr. Fred Mahal.
Last but not least.
And I'll try not to use the word reprehensible or dipstick.
Thank you. Thank you. Or get you bloviating about
Or
too much.
bloviating too much.
That's right.
We'll try and keep it short here.
Please, Turt.
Certificate of Appreciation. The Village of Vernon Board of Trustee commemorates Fred Mahalik in recognition of his distinguished service and dedication to both the town and Village of Vernon as Town Chairman, Town Supervisor, and Village Trustee, as well as in appreciation for his service and volunteerism as Plan Commission Member, Shared Service Committee Member, Election Inspector, and past Town Chairman and Town Supervisor, presented with our best wishes for your future endeavors.
Thank you.
He wants you to kiss him.
Oh, you want to take a picture? There we go.
I hope Kristen's not watching. Put your mask on.
Yeah.
Give me my hand sanitizer. I touched Fred. Okay. Now especially. All right, and again, at an annual meeting, we thank Jamie Schleisman for being on the Plan Commission. He just served out his term and is now off the Plan Commission. So it's always, like we said, advertised. There's a bunch of committee members meeting positions open. It's a great way to get involved with the Village of Vernon and learn more about municipal government and how your municipality runs and works and where it spends its money and how it operates. So contact the clerk's office or me. Clerk Administrator.
I want to send my deepest appreciation to all the election inspectors, my deputy clerks, the DPW department for all the work they did on the April 6th election. They did a fantastic job, so big thank you to all of them. Out of our 5,899 voters, 1,711 voted on April 6th, which is a 29% rate. And out of those 1,711 voters, 483 were absentee. As well as as many of the board members too, I want to send my deepest condolences to Bill Craig's family, who unfortunately passed away this week. Bill did an incredible job as a town supervisor, and he served on many committees in a volunteer capacity, and he will be deeply missed, not only by his family, but many, many members in this community. Wanted to thank Trustee Gary Wiley and Trustee Fred Mahalik for their dedicated years of service to the town and village of Vernon. I know what it takes to be an elected official, and I thank you with the bottom of my heart for all your dedicated service. You guys did a great job, great job. Also wanted to let you know that Erica Anderson, Sean Malarkey, and I finished all the zoning maps. When you go to your emails tonight, you're going to see the zoning maps for our public hearing on April 12th with the overlay districts.
May 12th.
Yeah, May 12th. And I did order three large maps. So when we go to the public hearing, And as soon as we get them, we'll let the public know that they can come in and actually view on a larger scale, because we'll put the PDF in the public hearing notice, but you really need, I ordered maps like this size so that people could actually see the maps, and it's all cleaned up and all the zoning's correct now, so I'm really happy about that. Later this, well, hopefully by Monday, I have to send another annual stormwater management plan above and beyond the biannual stormwater management plan. I got to get that done over the weekend. John and I are attending a stormwater management seminar all day Tuesday and all day Wednesday. And today we have 6 new, John Henneberry. Yeah, he does a component of stormwater also, the Vernon Fire Department battalion chief dropped off 6 new paperwork for 6 new members of the Vernon Fire Department, which is great news. And I've been working with Terry Winarski, our new treasurer, on some of his new duties. He transferred some money. He'll be emailing that information to you tomorrow, things that had to be, so that you're gonna see when he does his transfers. He's gonna be emailing them, so you'll see him on the bank statement, but he also wants to email them to you as he does them and tell you why they had to be done. And that's it.
May I, Karen? I get a lot of emails from the town of Vernon. I don't know if any will come in after tonight, say tomorrow. If they do, how long should I let that ride before I call you back and say I'm getting something like this or like that?
On your don't even worry about it, because you turned in your computer and those.
Yes, I did.
They'll download all those, so don't worry.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Okay, thank you. I don't want to have stuff I shouldn't have.
Any stuff you have, you can have.
Thank you.
That's. Did you get that solitaire game off?
Oh, Ron will probably strip all,
Yes.
clean the computers that you guys
Both-
turned in, but
And I should state publicly, both trustee Mahalik and trustee Wildy turned in their computers and their keys, so
Thank you.
everybody knows they did that publicly.
Thank you.
okay, thank you. Okay, on to finances. Accounts payable. So this would be batch 2021-0415 in the amount of $93,071.40. The only thing I had on this was, and I would like to point this out, and probably John Henneberry will point it out next month on his report, that somebody poured, what did John say?
Yes, yes.
Someone poured
The wrong
paint
type.
thinner into our oil tank, our recycle.
They put paint thinner?
Right, and as a result, chemical reaction with the oil cost us, you see the bill,
What did they put in there?
Paint
Paint
thinner.
thinner.
and it turns the oil into some kind of sludge.
Plus, we've never done this type of cleaning, so, I mean, we pray, and John's got new signs that, we've got cameras there and watching that. The cameras are now pointed right to, so you can see the driver's license plates. But go ahead, I'm sorry, Mr.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to point that out to the board and the residents, that it's a privilege, and you, as residents, it's there for your convenience to recycle your waste oil and antifreeze, and if you pour something that doesn't belong in there, it could cause a big cleanup bill for the rest of us. And if it continues, we're gonna have to stop it or put it behind a locked chain in certain hours, and I think everybody's responsible in the village of Vernon, or they should be, and it's just, you have to follow the recycling rules. It's very important.
How was it discovered?
When the gentleman that comes to pump it, he saw immediately what had happened. They know immediately when they go to pump it.
Okay.
So they had to call in special trucks and a special cleanup.
Okay, so it didn't damage anybody's equipment?
No, there was no damage because he didn't start pumping when he saw what happened.
That's good, okay.
But it's still, you see the bill in here, it costs us money to clean it up.
You should tell people what that costs.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Is it, or is it $1,458?
What's the name of the company?
GFL is our,
GFL,
D or G?
G.
G is in Greg,
Okay.
F is in Frank, L is in Lance. They always do that, our pumping of our oil and antifreeze.
Yeah, I've got an invoice, Gary, you see that there, April 6th. And I think it all relates to it because there's two charges for vacuum trucks and the sludge, and of course, EERF fee, which is a recycling disposal fee. But that invoice totaled
And
$1,458.
it's considered a hazardous waste and they pulled in, there had to be 3 different trucks coming at different times. It was a big procedure for them, so you can understand why their bill was so high, but for the 99% of the people that use it and use it wildly, you have one.
All it takes is one person,
Right.
unfortunately.
So the cameras are now focused exactly on that area, so John is able to record license plates now.
Good.
So just so you know.
I hope this is one and final time that it was truly a mistake and nothing silly.
And we just would ask Vernon residents to look at the website because we post all the hazardous collection sites throughout the county. So there are places that you can take any type of hazardous waste. They have disposal places for them. Or call us and we'll give you numbers to call. Sorry, Carol.
Right, and it'll be in the newsletter,
Yep,
which is coming out
pretty soon.
pretty soon.
They were stapling today. It's all printed, it's all folded. They were stapling it and so it's just the addresses and then it's out.
Okay, so, a little deviation under finances, but I noticed that bill and I thought I'd bring it to
Yeah.
everyone's attention because
Appropriate, yep.
it's money not well spent because it was unnecessarily caused. But otherwise, we're looking for a motion I'll make a motion to approve batch 2021-0415 in the amount of $93,071.40. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Manual checks. Just one, the electric company. I think we had to make this a manual check simply because of the way it was due in our meeting schedule.
It's,
Thank
you know,
Normally we would do ACH, right?
that is an ACH, but it's a manual ACH approval. It's not a manual check, it's a manual ACH. Pardon me, I stand corrected. Is that your motion to approve the manual ACH?
ACH check. Check to We Energies in the amount of $6668.79. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Also in your packet, you've received the Citizens Quarterly Securities Report for March 2021. If there's any questions, you can ask them.
And I did contact Susan to let her know ask her to put that in Terry's name. And Terry will always submit this, just so that you know, it's gonna go in Terry's name.
Going forward. And then we've got a report from
Darlene.
County Supervisor Darlene Johnson, who, as you know, was spearheading, if you will, the bridge redecking project on National Avenue County ES across the Fox River as you leave Vernon into Maplenago. And we contributed, I think it was $5,000, we, the taxpayers of Vernon, to keep that, at least one lane of that bridge open for emergency use, principally for emergency vehicles, although it was open to general traffic. You can read a report, it was over budget,
35,000.
35,000 over budget, which the county, of course, has to pay for. It's a county road. But she wanted to make us aware of that.
Yep.
Okay, we're on to village board minutes. April 1, 2021, I read them. I had a few comments. I think they were made and passed around.
Yes, Mr. President, the corrections were passed on to the board members and primary, and we just copied the pages that changed. Few little changes.
So we're looking for a motion to approve the April 1, 2021 Village of Vernon Board Meeting minutes.
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Announcements. And I think we see there's one typo in here, which I'll get to at the very end. I thought we had fixed that, but not. We missed it again. Okay, so we've got the Village Board, May 6 and May 20, 7 p.m. Don't fall asleep, Fred and Gary. I know you're.
I'm contemplating with deep thought.
You're contemplating all the free time you're going to have in May.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Village Board and Plan Commission, May 12, 7 p.m. That's also May 12, 7 p.m. at the Vernon Hall here for a public hearing to amend the Village of Vernon zoning map to include shoreline zoning, to create a Village of Vernon shoreline zoning overlay district with Chapter 300, create a Village of Vernon shoreline wetland zoning ordinance, and to amend the Village of Vernon floodplain ordinance. And as announced earlier, the county is done with the maps and everybody's got them on their email. And it's probably up on the website soon?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay.
Tomorrow, though. I don't know, but the map is a digital map. It's really hard to see. I mean, we'll put it up, but that's why I ordered the big map so that people could come down. We'll try to put one outside, too, so that if they'd come after hours.
They can look at it
Right.
ahead of the public hearing.
Right, or if anybody wants me to stay late, because it's an important map to see.
Okay, so we've got open book coming up. These aren't necessarily meeting dates, but announcement dates. We have an open book coming up for property tax assessments, May 3rd, 4 to 6. Our border review is scheduled for May 18th from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. or adjournment. We have to stay in session for at least 2 hours. The Board of Trustees is the Board of Review, so make sure that's on your calendar. And then our Village Board and Staff meeting, May 27th. It's not at 7, it's at 1. It's at 1 p.m.
I'm coming at 7.
Are you,
So that is
are you
1
coming
p.m.
back for a rerun?
Okay, so those are that's our month of May, and it's getting busier.
As you move on, I want to compliment, when this agenda comes out, it's great to have this paragraph 10 announcement of next village meeting dates, because I go through my calendar, verify it, and it's outstanding to have this information here. So I don't know who puts all these dates together, but I presume it's Karen and with Carl.
Something Carl and I worked on when Carl first got elected. We thought, hey, wouldn't it be nice to put all?
Oh, it's
so
blue
we
chip.
remember?
It is blue chip.
Right, it's mostly for we to,
I'm sorry, Miss.
mostly for us to remember, but
Oh, okay. Oh, it's great for us.
I absolutely check it, to my book and make sure it's in my book and calendar and.
Well, and I commend this board too, because one of the things people complain about is they're not notified of meetings, and you always have on all your agendas everything that you're doing as
Yes.
a board.
Yeah. So my compliments. It's outstanding.
And we will continue. Yeah. Okay, with that, we will go I'll make a motion to go into closed session for the consideration and possible action to convene in the executive session under Wisconsin Statutes 19.851G, conferring with legal counsel for the governmental body who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation in which it is or is likely to become involved, more specifically, the Krieger appeal, included in closed session, Village of Vernon Board, Vernon Village Clerk Administrator, and the village attorney by telephone. So it will require a roll call vote. I will make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call?
President Carl Fortner?
Yes.
Trustee Jim Salani?
Yes.
Trustee Gary Wildy?
Yes.
Trustee Fred Mahalik?
Yes.
Trustee Lorene Dashik?
Yes.
Mr. President, note for record that all of your village board members approved to go into closed session by unanimous voice vote.
Okay,
8:15?
at 8:15. And for the benefit of the public, we will reconvene in open session and probably make a motion on the Krieger appeal based on our discussion in closed session. So with that, we will convene in closed session and take a 5-minute break, 8:20. Thank you.